Welcome to episode 11 of the Hit Your Target podcast. This is where we dive deep into the tools, strategies, and the insights that help you take action and achieve real transformation in your life. I'm Laura, and today I'm going to talk about something I personally find very fascinating. The idea that you don't just have one brain, but three. That's right, science tells us that we have an intelligent head brain, a heart brain, and a gut brain, all working together, or sometimes against each other. They influence our thoughts, our emotions, and our decisions. And I know what you're thinking, this isn't just some woo-woo thinking, it's grounded in neuroscience, evolutionary biology, and practical psychology. It's a groundbreaking approach that helps align these three brains to improve your decision-making, emotional intelligence, and leadership. It's where neuroscience meets ancient wisdom, blending modern scientific research with deep-rooted intuitive practices. By the end of this episode, you'll have a deeper understanding of how to harness the full power of your head, heart, and gut to make better choices in your life and career. Let's get started with the basics. mBIT was founded by Grant Sasalu and Marvin Oka. They combined neuroscience, behavioural modelling, and ancient wisdom to create a system that enhances decision-making, leadership, and personal transformation. They've written numerous books, one of which I have to hand, M-Braining, Using Your Multiple Brains to Do Cool Stuff. And their research has revealed that aligning the three brains leads to better clarity, more resilience, and intuition. They introduce the concept of neurological integration, showing that when these three brains communicate effectively, people experience higher levels of creativity, compassion, and courage. So before we dive into how to use mBIT in everyday life, I'll bring out my not so well hidden inner nerd for a second, because for me, understanding where this comes from and some of the science behind it makes it all the more powerful. So we'll start with the enteric brain. This is the gut brain. It's our oldest intelligence. Our gut brain, also called the enteric nervous system, ENS, is actually the oldest brain in evolutionary terms. If we think right back to the beginning, where the system developed in simple organisms like sea slugs and sea cucumbers, these creatures don't have what we'd call a head brain, but they do have an intricate nervous system in their gut that helps them navigate their environment, sense danger, and decide what's safe or not to consume. Over millions of years, as life has evolved, this gut intelligence has still remained. It's deeply wired into our survival instincts. So fast forward to humans as we are now, our gut brain still plays a massive role. It has over 500 million neurons, which is about the same size as a cat's brain, and it produces around 90% of the body's serotonin. It's constantly in communication with the head and the heart brains. And if you think about whether you've ever had that gut feeling about something, that's your enteric brain at work. It processes vast amounts of subconscious data and sends it up to our head brain. The second brain, the cardiac brain, is our heart brain. This is our emotional compass. And if we think of the heart and its function, it isn't just a pump, but it has its own complex neural network. Again, this is around 30,000 to 120,000 neurons, similar to a lobster. And those neurons, exactly like they are in our head brain, allow us to sense, to process information, and make decisions independently even from the head brain. Researchers at the HeartMath Institute have shown that the heart generates an electromagnetic field that influences not just your own body, but the people around you. This electromagnetic field extends several feet beyond the body and can be measured using sensitive instruments. Studies have suggested that when we experience emotions such as love, appreciation, or compassion, our heart's rhythm becomes more coherent, and it creates a ripple effect that others can physically feel. So this explains why we can often sense someone's mood before they even speak. Think of a time where you've walked into a room and you've immediately felt the energy, whether it's positive or tense. That's the power of the heart's electromagnetic field in action. It's why emotional intelligence and heart-centered leadership can be so influential. We've probably all come across leaders or managers who've just had that ability, or not, to be able to control a room, to give a calming presence, or not. And one other fascinating aspect of heart math research is the concept of heart-brain synchronization. Studies have shown that two people in close proximity can actually synchronize their heart rhythms even without physical contact. Again, this is why the leader who's calm and composed can help steady an entire team during high-pressure situations. The heart, in essence, acts as a powerful emotional transmitter, shaping the emotional landscape of a room, a conversation, or even an organization. The heart-brain plays a key role in communication, congruence, and connection. It sends more signals, exactly like the gut brain, to the head brain than the head brain sends back down to either the heart or the gut. And this is why emotions like gratitude, love, and stress can have such a powerful impact on our overall well-being. So then let's get to the brain we all know, the cephalic brain, the head brain. This is the logical thinker. It's responsible for reasoning, language, and problem solving. It's what we typically think of when we say, I'm thinking about something. But even though it's the most developed and complex, it's not always the most reliable. Sometimes our head brain gets stuck in analysis paralysis. It ignores the wisdom from the heart and the gut. And this is where mBIT comes in. Multiple brain integration techniques help us to integrate all three sources of intelligence for better decision making. Now I'm going to get a little bit more complex here. If I haven't blown your mind already, hopefully you can still take this in. So, our highest expression and emergent wisdom, these are other elements of mBIT. So each of our brains has a highest expression, a way in which it operates at its most evolved and effective level. In the head brain, the highest expression is creativity. So when in alignment, the head brain is not just logical, but deeply creative and insightful. The highest expression of the heart brain is compassion. A heart that's in coherence expresses deep empathy, connection, and wisdom. And the gut brain's highest expression is courage. So, as you might expect, the gut at its best fuels action, resilience, that fight or flight response, the instinctive knowing. When all three are working together, we tap into what mBIT practitioners call emergent wisdom. This is a state where our decisions are not just intelligent, but also deeply aligned with our values, our purpose, and our instincts. So you may have come across some signs when you're not aligned. When your three brains are not aligned, you may experience feelings like indecision and self-doubt, where your head and your gut may be in conflict, emotional overwhelm. The heart brain might be overridden by logic or suppressing the gut instincts. You might feel stuck or lack motivation. A misalignment between your gut brain, taking action, and your head brain, the logic, can prevent momentum. You might struggle with relationships. Disconnection from your heart brain can lead to difficulty in empathizing or expressing your emotions. Or even things such as physical symptoms, chronic stress, digestive issues, or tight chest and anxiety can indicate imbalance within our three brains. Here's a sad but fascinating story that I came across, which demonstrates what happens when your three brains are not used in integrated ways. You may have heard of Amelia Earhart. She was a legendary aviator who set numerous speed and distance records and the first woman to fly non-stop across the Atlantic, but she mysteriously disappeared while attempting to fly around the world. If you've seen the movie Amelia, you'll know all about this. But Amelia is famously quoted as saying, "Everyone has oceans to fly if they have the heart to do it." Is it reckless? Maybe. But what do dreams know of boundaries? Now, some accounts suggest that despite her head brain being fully engaged in logical planning and her heart brain filled with passion for flight and the adventure, her gut instincts may have been overridden. Reports also suggested that she had reservations about the flight, but proceeded anyway, potentially ignoring that internal warning system that something wasn't right. She's also on record as saying, "Please note that I am aware of the hazards. I want to do it because I want to do it." Now, again, listen to some of the words within there. Want is heart-based. Desire, want, dreams, passion, they're all mediated by heart-based prime functions. And this story is a powerful reminder of why integrating all three brains is essential in decision making. Now, there are 9 broad areas when aligning your three brains is absolutely crucial. So some of those are goal and outcome setting, ensuring, as I say, that your goals are actually what you want them to be, because sometimes when we set them, they're not what we think they'll be or not really our desires. It's just somebody else's expectation. Secondly, decision making, using the 3 intelligences for choices that feel right. Problem solving, motivation, taking action, harnessing our intuition, learning to trust signals, and cultivating understanding of perspective. Now, this is seen beyond the facts by integrating those emotional and instinctive insights. And then the last area is relationships, using the brain to build deeper, more authentic connections from the heart, and having personal development and behavioral change. So this is using all 3 brains to create sustainable growth. And that leads me to the last one, which is health and well-being, noticing those bodily signals and ensuring we have emotional and mental balance. To help you put this into context and to help you experience this in action, I want to just guide you through a quick mBIT alignment exercise. So first of all, find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Take 3 deep breaths, focusing on relaxing your body. So relax your shoulders, let your head rest, and just gently but deeply breathe in and out. Now, the peak number of seconds to breathe in and out is about 6. So if you can get to 6 seconds in, 6 seconds out on your breath, fantastic. You might struggle at first, so 4 seconds, 5 seconds, whatever's comfortable for you. Place one hand on your head and ask yourself, what do I really think about this decision or situation? And just notice what comes up for you. And then move your hand to your heart and ask, how do I feel about this? Does it align with my personal values? And again, notice what comes up. And then finally, place your hand on your stomach and ask, what does my gut say? Is there a deep sense of knowing? And as you do this, just notice any conflicts that occur for you. If one brain is resisting, explore what it is that needs to shift for alignment. And I guarantee you will have some insights within there that you perhaps haven't considered before. So to wrap this up, mBIT isn't about ignoring logic or going purely on feelings. It's about integrating all 3 brains for smarter, more aligned decisions. When you learn to trust and use each of these intelligences, trust me, life flows more easily. You'll feel more confident, more in tune with yourself, and less stuck in indecision. And from a personal perspective, I used to always ask people for their opinion or what do they think. And 9 times out of 10, I would reflect and think, oh, that actually wasn't what I wanted to do in the first place. And I wish I hadn't done it. So when we can rely on our own instincts and our own power within us, it's so much more beneficial. So if today's episode has resonated with you and you'd like to explore more about how to align your head, heart and gut for better decision making, for better leadership, or just for personal fulfillment, then I invite you to explore mBIT further. I will put some resources in the show notes to the mBIT website. You can also reach out to me on LinkedIn or drop me an email. I would love to hear from you and what's come up for you after listening to this episode. So until next time, trust your head, follow your heart, and listen to your gut. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a moment to rate the show or leave a comment. It really helps us reach more people. And don't forget to share it with anyone else who could use a little motivation today. Have a fantastic day and make sure you hit your targets.